Monday evening at Coors Field. Sunday went well for the Rockies. First time in 17 Sundays. The Rockies knocked off the Dodgers yesterday, and now it's on to the Houston Astros. The Rockies and Astros have not met yet in 2011. Speaking of meeting old friends, Clint Barmas, a longtime Rocky, and Todd Helton getting together. It's like old home week for Barmas during batting practice. Also Jamie Quirk in the background, former bench coach of the Colorado Rockies, now working in the bullpen for the Houston Astros. Welcome, everybody, with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Well, who are these Houston Astros? We know they've been in the news quite a bit lately. They traded Hunter Pence. They traded Michael Bourne. They're very young, George.
They are a very young baseball team, and it's really reflected on the pitching staff. But when your average age is second youngest in all of baseball, and if you look through all those teams, there's only one that's in a contention and playing well. That's the Cleveland Indians. Everybody else is scuffling through their seasons. And for Brad Mills, obviously you're babysitting a lot of young guys, hoping that they come through for you, and they've got a good one.
Well, this guy they like a lot. He's little, George. HOU Altuve. They list him at 5'7". They say he's really about 5'5" and a half. He hit an inside the park home run yesterday. Doesn't walk a lot. He was hitting close to 390 in the minor leagues this year.
Well, he swung at that very well at Double-A Corpus Christi before they moved him up to the big league level and giving him an opportunity. It all comes down to pitching. You've got the young kids playing, but the pitching has to do their job. Think about this. Bud Norris and Wandy Rodriguez, 23 and 25 when they start. 19 and 60 when everybody else takes the mound.
And one of those other guys is Brett Myers. One other guy we want to highlight is J.D. Martinez. He's originally a 20th round pick. J.D. Martinez has big time pop.
Huge pop. 5 home runs, 21 RBIs, and just 79 at bats at the big league level. That's big time production for a young player. And obviously he's going to get an opportunity with this organization that has been sold this year. Now they're looking at obviously minimize their payrolls. Now it's a great time to be young and be a Houston Astro.
Well, if you're young, you get a chance to play right now if you're in Houston. When we come back, we'll talk about one of the elder statesmen for the Rockies who's having a terrific second half, Rafael Betancourt. That when we return to Coors Field in front of the Rockies and Astros tonight.
Making his way out of the Rockies bullpen to the Rockies dugout. He will be on the hill tonight for Colorado in Game 1 against the Houston Astros. And speaking of the bullpen, as Chacin is coming out of there, Rafael Betancourt has been outstanding in the second half of the year, especially since he's been asked to be the closer while Houston Street is on the disabled list. In 16 innings pitched since July 7th, given up only 6 hits, 0 earned runs, 27 Ks, 1 walk, and have just picked up his second save. Earlier today, I asked bullpen coach Jim Wright what Betancourt has been doing so effectively.
Well, he's got a great bullpen coach, first of all.
I agree with that. Can you expand on that a bit?
Yeah, really. You know, I think with anything with Rafael, he was in a good spot with his confidence before he took over this role, and you know, being an athlete, especially pitching, confidence is everything. And you know, the fact that he's throwing strikes and mixing his pitches, because you know, always before his MO is that he throws one pitch and it's a fastball away, and he's changed that MO a little bit with changeups and sliders and mixing his fastball up and down. So that, I think the total package of that has made him more effective.
And Rockies manager Jim Tracy has been nothing but impressed with Betancourt since he took over the closer's role. Now the bullpen could have a very different look by week's end, because Matt Lindstrom, who was eligible to come off of the DL yesterday, and Houston Street, who was eligible to come off of the DL on Wednesday, they're both throwing 1 inning tonight and 1 inning on Wednesday for the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. They could be with the team by the time we go to Los Angeles. Baseball is next here on Root Sports as the Colorado Rockies and Houston Astros get set for Game 1 at Coors Field. Stay with us.
By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford Escape, so much fun, so little fuel. Ford Escape, drive one. By CenturyLink, Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. By Pizza Hut, get any pizza, any size, any toppings for just $10 when you carry out. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. It'll be Jhoulys Chacin on the hill tonight for the Colorado Rockies, looking for his 10th win. He has struggled in the second half to produce victories. In fact, the Rockies have lost 9 of his last 10 starts. Despite that, he has a .359 ERA. Jordan Schaefer is going to lead off for Houston. If the name sounds familiar, well, it should. Schaefer, been with the Atlanta Braves up and down the last few years. He was part of the Michael Bourne trade. Southwest Airlines batting order for Brad Mills. Jose Altuve, who we were just talking about, and J.D. Martinez, 2 and 3 in the lineup. Then El Caballo, Carlos Lee. And the next hitter will be Brian Bogasevic, and you're going to like him. He's a big, strong guy. Jimmy Paredes, Clint Farmers will bat 7th, Humberto Quintero, and Brett Myers. So Jordan Schaefer steps in. This is his first game as a Houston Astro, because when he was traded from Atlanta in the Bourne deal, he was on the disabled list with a middle finger injury. So he just got done with his rehab literally yesterday. And so here he is making his Houston debut.
A good sign for Shashin. First pitch fastball down for a strike. Yeah, for Schaefer, it's got to be a little bit of a tough time for him. I mean, you're with Atlanta. You're thinking you're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to go to the World Series. All those thoughts start running through your mind as a player. And then you get traded over to a ball club that has really struggled this year. Talking about the Houston Astros, 42 and 85 on the season. But once again, it's an opportunity to be the leadoff man, an opportunity to build a relationship with Brad Mills and the Houston Astros.
Here's the 1-2. And that's strike 3. That had a lot of movement on it. Mark Carlson thought about it and then rings up Jordan Schaefer. George, this thing moved about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, it was huge and a little bit outside and high, but you get the call. That's the important thing about it. He started right at him, didn't think it was going to be there, and it ended up being right where you wanted it. Well, obviously, Chassin wanted to win more ball games than he has. 9 and 10. It's been a while since June since he won a ball game. An earned run average still decent. There's nothing wrong with that. The innings pitched are getting there. The strikeouts, the walks have been a key, and the other side of it, we talked a lot about it, fastball command.
I'll tell you how good the ERA is. If this were to hold up, you'd have the lowest ERA of any starting pitcher in the history of the Colorado Rockies. 30+ starts.
On the other side of those walks, 72, that leads the National League among starters. Billingsley was 68, Sanchez was 66, and Lincecum was 65.
1-1 on Jose Altuve. Swung on and missed. Well, Altuve made some history on Saturday, leading off the ball game. He hits it off the left center field wall, and then it kicks away. He ran through a stop sign. It worked out for him. An inside the park home run for his first career home run, and leading off the ball game. That had not happened since 1948, when Richie Ashburn, colorful character from the bygone era, did it. 1948, first home run, leading off a ball game. Richie Ashburn, that guy just joined him, Jose Altuve. 2 outs, and that'll bring up J.D. Martinez. First pitch swinging, and that's foul. Now defensively for the Rockies, Eric Young's getting the start in left field. Dexter's at center. Cargo is in right. Ty Wiggins in at third. Tulowitzki and Mark Ellis up the middle. Todd Helton at first. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. That's inside. J.D. Martinez with 20 RBIs in the month of August. That's tied for second most in the National League, behind Prince Fielder, who's driven in 22. Cargo is the gentleman that he's tied with. Cargo's driven in 20 this month. Trying to bust him in. 2-1. I like stories like J.D. Martinez's, George. 20th round draft pick, and all of a sudden he's climbed the ladder in Houston, and he is very, very well thought of now.
Very well thought of. A guy with just tremendous power. It tells you, a young kid, he's hitting third. He drives this ball down to the left field corner.
And he's a pretty athletic guy. He takes a wide turn. Eric Young gets it back in, so it's a 2-out single.
Not a guy that's going to steal a lot of bases, but drive in runs and drive the baseball. Slider away, not a bad pitch by Chassin. It was just the ability of a pretty good hitter to reach out with a long wingspan and hook the ball down into the corner.
And that'll bring up One of the few names you're familiar with at home with the Houston Astros. He's been there a while now, Carlos Lee. And Lee looked like he went around, and they check it first with Tim Timmons, and in fact he did. No longer a left fielder, he's playing first base now. Word is he's really enjoying that. It's like Helton, it's a shorter distance from the dugout. And that's going to be a base hit. Neither balls hit particularly hard, but there are two aboard for Bogasevic.
They have some names on this team.
They do have some names.
As we were going down the list.
Yeah, the first thing you and I did was to get with some folks with the Astros and check a bunch of pronunciations. Here was their opening day roster lineup on the left. J.R. Tolles, he's now down in Oak City. Brett Wallace, who's been traded a bunch, one of the top hitting prospects in baseball, and he started out like a ball of fire, but he tailed off so miserably that he's now in Oak City. Billy Hall was released. Angel Sanchez not working today. Chris Johnson, who had a great year last year, is in Oak City. And Michael Borden and Hunter Pence, who really were their two young stars, George.
They were.
They traded them.
Well, they got back an awful lot for those two players to try to restock that minor league system. Fred Nelson, who had worked as a pro scout for about the last 18 years. And he was the scouting director years ago with the Astros when they talked about Biggio coming through it with that rotation that they had. Jim DeShay's next door doing the broadcast for them. And asked Fred to come back in and take it over again, and he feels like things have been replenished and are starting to get into good hands with some of these young players. It's just a matter of developing.
Yeah, they were not in a good place in their farm system. Catches his zone. It's 1-2 on Bogasevic. He's an interesting story. He was drafted, George, originally as a pitcher. Spent 2.5 years, he was telling me, as a pitcher, and then they said, why don't you think about playing the outfield and swinging the bat? And he's built like, he's built like Matt Holliday. He's not quite as tall as Matt, but he is big and strong. He is put together.
The unusual twist to that, most guys couldn't hit the slider, go to the mound. Maybe he didn't have a slider and he went to the plate because he could hit the slider.
Off the end of the bat, easy play for Wigginton. And he throws across the diamond. So Chacin gets to the dugout, gives up 2 singles. The Rockies on offense when we come back. Eric Young Jr. He'll lead it off. He'll be followed in Jim Tracy's lineup by Dexter Fowler. It's presented by Southwest Airlines. Then Cargo, Troy Tulowitzki, Todd Helton, Ty Wigginton at 250. Mark Ellis will bat 7th in front of Chris Iannetta, and then the pitcher Chacin. EY really starting to pile up the stolen bases, George. He's now 15 of 17. And he only has 118 at bats. He's one off the club leader. That's Carlos Gonzalez with 16. Cargo hasn't attempted a steal in a while. And the first pitch from Brett Myers is in there for a strike. He's got the Ryan Franklin thing on the chin, George.
He's had that a few years. This guy will compete now, I can tell you that. Unfortunately, his numbers this year don't reflect a very good year after winning 14 games for this club a year ago. He has struggled ever since. 26 starts, 3-12. If you think about it, since June 17th, two things have happened. He hadn't pitched well. He's 0-6. They're a high earned run average. The opposition's here near 300 against him. But they've also only scored 2.79 runs per start for him. So not a lot of run support there. Now, the one positive I guess he has, thought process coming into this game tonight. All-time Coors Field winners, win percentages with 5 or more starts. Myers leads it at 5-0. Roy Oswalt 4-0. Merker 6-1. Brad Penny, who has a lot of career wins, 6-1. And Harnish at 5-1.
Yeah, 7-0. That really gets your attention against the Rockies. He has not faced the Rockies since April 11th of 2009, and he promptly walks Eric Young to begin things for Colorado. Defensively, J.D. Martinez is in left field, Jordan Schaefer in center, and Bogusevic is in right. Paredes is at third, Varmus playing shortstop. Altuve is the second baseman. Carlos Lee is at first base, and Alberto Quintera, veteran backup catcher. And that pitch missed to Dexter Fowler as Quintero tried to pick off Young. Young had 3 stolen bases in a game over the weekend against the Dodgers.
A snap throw over right behind Dexter's head. And tag trying to be applied before he had caught the baseball. This worked out really good for the Rockies.
He started to go and then shut it down. I was talking to EY yesterday. I said, all right, give me your 5 fastest guys in the game. And he, you know, he can include himself, and he should. You know who he had number 1 on the list?
I'm rolling it through right now. Jose Reyes.
He had Reyes in the top 5. He had Brett Gardner number 1 of the Yankees. Gardner can run. 1 and 2. Emilio Bonifacio. He had Michael Bourne on the list.
Just looking it up here, Quintero has thrown out 20% of would-be base stealers this year.
1 and 2. And it's in on Dex. And again, EY started to go and evidently didn't like his jump. And one of the reasons he's in there tonight, not Seth Smith, according to Jim Tracy, because Smith hit that long 2-run bomb and generally plays against right-handers. He felt like Young could be effective in the running game against Brett Myers.
Well, if he can steal first, there's a pretty good opportunity he's going to be at second at some point.
He picked a good pitch to go on, but it was fouled off.
Well, you run into a lot of this when you wait till it gets to 2 strikes. That's the thing that hurts you as a base stealer, because obviously they're going to be swinging at close pitches. So if it doesn't get put in play, it's a foul ball. You're going to do a few wind sprints back and forth between first and second base instead of going early in counts. He just hadn't been comfortable in the first 5 pitches thrown to Dexter.
This ball's well hit to right field and deep, and it is off the base of the wall. And Eric Young will stop at third base. It's a double for Dexter Fowler.
Dexter's got to be thinking, what do I got to do? I hit it off the guy that is second in home runs allowed this year in the National League. It's a high cutter. Myers has given up 28. That's second. And he's thinking, this ball's got to get out of here. It's towards the bullpen. It's into the wind tunnel. No, right off the wall and back in. But second and third with Carlos Gonzalez coming up. And a chance for him to add to those RBI totals where he has 76 so far.
And Cargo Got a breaking ball he swung over the top of. 0-1. Well, Dexter safe at second. Safe and secure, New York life. Rockies looking to get the quick jump on the Astros. 2 on, 2 in scoring position. Nobody out. And they'll all come home here. That'll run to the wall. Cargo's got himself a double and 2 more RBIs in the month of August. Depending on what Prince Fielder's doing tonight, he's now tied him for RBIs in August. And George, he's missed the first 5 games of the month.
Yeah, how about that? They're putting up big numbers. Carlos Gonzalez continues to swing the hot bat in the month of August.
Curveball, which he swung and missed early in the count, for strike 1. This time it ends up for a double and 2 RBIs in the right field corner as Dexter and Ely come around to score.
Last 10 days, 18 ribbies. That's pretty good. Now Tulowitzki has been awfully good since the All-Star break. Troy's average at 303. He's closed in on 90 RBIs. He's 1 for 4 lifetime against Myers, and that one was a home run. That's 1-1. Myers has to be fine with his stuff, George. His fastball sits just a smidgen probably below major league average.
He's 88 to 90 with the fastball. He's got to work both sides. He likes to pitch a little bit backwards. You'll see a lot of breaking balls in fastball counts. He started Tulowitzki off with a slider, came back fastball, then curveball. Well, the big evil sin he made in this game, walking the leadoff man, not even close with speed.
Cargo with that double, George, now it's a 10-game hitting streak also. One and 2 on Troy. And a good slider there. That's the first out of the inning. Well, the Rockies are on their way to tacos. Fans, remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any ball game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies tacos special. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Here's Helt. And Todd looks at a strike. Todd 5 for 16 in his career matchups with Myers. Myers, a former high #1 pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in 1999. And that's back up the middle, base hit. Cargo around third, and he should score easily. Here's the throw, and it'll be cut off by Carlos Lee. It is 3-0. Helton has his 66th RBI.
What can you say? Professional hitter. When given the advantage, Todd's typically going to succeed, and you make mistakes on where you want a location.
Todd not trying to do too much with the baseball. Work back up the middle, hit it through the wickets, and then it's off to the races for Gonzalez and a 3-0 Rockies lead.
Now the conference is done. Brett Myers, we're talking about being a #1 pick, 12th overall of the Phils back in '99. The general manager of Philadelphia back then, George, was Ed Wade. The general manager of the Houston Astros now, Ed Wade.
Well, they brought him to Houston for his toughness, his competitiveness inside the locker room.
This ball toward the gap in left center off the bat of Wigginton, and it'll cut off by Schaefer. Helton will get the third, Wigginton to second. Boy, the Rockies swinging the bats here in the opening frame against Brett Myers, who was 7-0 against the Rockies in his career.
Ty Wigginton in his career, .455 average, 10 for 20 with a home run.
Brett Myers has to be wondering, is my catcher telling him what's coming?
They're hitting the ball hard. Wigginton does this with a line drive double into left center field. Moves Helton over to third base.
An opportunity with one out for Mark Ellis to let this thing start to be a runaway.
In on Ellis, ball one. This is something the Rockies were doing in April, getting off to quick starts. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ellis was 1 for 3 yesterday. That's off the plate, 2-1. Astros actually feeling pretty good about themselves the last week. They went 4-2 on recently completed homestand. They'd won 4 in a row to yesterday, and Brad Mills' team had opportunities to sweep the Giants yesterday, never capitalized, and ended up losing in 11, 6-4. That is cued toward Caballo, and he's going to throw home late. Carlos Lee couldn't get it out of his glove, and Todd Helton scores the 4th run. Hopefully Todd's all right. Slow move into the dugout. And it is an RBI for Mark Ellis, and they're going to give him an infield hit.
Well, I think that's the right call, because I'm not sure they would have had a play at first base on him. Ball jam underneath the glove of Myers. He lets it go, and then when they see Lee go, and here you're seeing the throw come in to the home plate area, Helton slides.
Chris Iannetta with 1 out and runners at first and second. Wigginton stayed at second. Rockies leading 4-0. Two and 2 on Chris Iannetta. 45 RBIs for the Rockies regular catcher. Brett Myers in his last start got a no decision against the Cubs, went 7 innings, gave up 4 runs. And this is toward the hole. It's cut off at third. The throw to first is high. Nicely done at third by Paredes. He got the force. It'll be first and third, 2 outs, and it will allow Chacin to hit here in the opening frame as the Rockies hit around.
Yeah, Myers not going to be real happy about seeing the top of that lineup again to start the second inning. Well, he has struggled. We mentioned earlier, since June 22nd, covering 11 starts. 0-6 is his record, a high earned run average. The opposition near 300. Walk strikeouts, they're okay. The other side of that coin for Myers is his ball club's only scored 2.79 runs per ball game when he started over that period.
That's a good yacker right there. 0-1. In the air to deep left center field. This may be over everybody's head. It's kicked by Schaefer. 1 run is scored. Here comes Iannetta all the way from first. It'll be a 2-run double for Chacin. Make it 6-0. Rockies may be handing out tacos in the first frame tonight.
Second curveball that Myers gave Chassin just hung right up in the top of the strike zone. Now their outfield had really pulled in an awful lot. Kind of an unusual defense alignment for me at Coors Field, that you would bring them in that far. I mean, Schaefer ran and gave it a great effort, but from where he started, I thought they were extremely shallow. They're still shallow.
And a line drive gloved by Barmes. And Myers is staggered as he walks off the mound. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Rockies. He's got to put the glove on the other hand, Frazier. You got to get that one straight.
He's still young. He's just figuring things out.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why he comes to the ballpark. Chassin has a little cushion here as he goes to the mound in the second inning. 6 runs in the first for the Rockies. Chassin drove in 2 of them with his first career double. Oddity in the schedule that it would be August the 22nd. It's a pretty look at the cloud formation over Coors Field. George, August the 22nd, and the Rockies haven't faced Houston yet, and they won't face him. Yeah, they won't face him again till the final week of the season.
Very strange. Don't get that.
No, and the Astros have had a lot of success against the Rockies, and a lot of success lately against the Rockies here at Coors Field. Last year they came in here, won 3 of 4. They've won 7 of their last 10 at Coors Field. And the Rockies have lost the season series the last couple of years to the Houston Astros. Jimmy Paredes takes ball 1. He was a shortstop coming up, and they tried to move him to second because of Chris Johnson and presence of Brett Wallace at first, and then Johnson got sent out and they moved him over to third. He's not a big power guy, but he runs really well, and he's got middle infield hands, so he's been doing a decent job over there, hitting at 299 right now. They've just raided, Frazier, that Corpus Christi club. They really don't feel like they have any prospects at Oklahoma City, so they have they've been going to Corpus Christi, and they've pulled up 3 or 4 guys now.
Well, there's 2 guys that were at Corpus Christi. One being Dallas Keuchel, who was leading the Texas League in ERA, and he was leading it in innings pitched when he got advanced to AAA Oklahoma City, and another former Rocky, Xavier Cedeno. who had pitched at age 21 at Double-A with the Rockies, scuffled his second year at 22, was released by the Rockies, and he was actually leading the Texas League in strikeouts. He's pitching out of the bullpen in Oklahoma City, but that's you know, Roger Clemens' son's there playing first base, not doing much. He's hitting .230 as you enter tonight's play. Shortstop slash first baseman slash catcher, multi-position guy.
Oh boy, this bat just get blown up. Ionette is going to go and get it. Chacin was chasing it also. That thing broke like it was balsa wood. One out. Here comes Clint Barnes. Clint was signing as many autographs as anybody before the ball game. Tremendously popular player here. Tremendously popular with his teammates. Very popular with the media. And after a slow start, he's really come on the last couple of months.
Well, hurt to start the season, went down to the rehab, and it came off the injury. And as you're right, swung the bat very well, very solid defensively. I mean, I remember when the Houston traded for him and talking to some of their personnel people. And the comment was, if he's solid defensively, is what we really need up the middle. Anything he does offensively will be a plus.
And the key to it was that they were looking for a shortstop, and Barmes, who did a great job at second, an opportunity to get back over the short, and it's going to be an infield hit for Clint. Nice effort by Ty Wigginton, so Barmes gets an infield hit.
Now the backhand didn't take a couple steps backwards, collect himself, off balance throw off the back foot. Clint Barmes, as usual, hustled up the line for a base hit.
So one out, Barmes at first, and Humberto Quintero is at the plate. Now Quintero killed the Rockies last year. He was 7 for 12 in the series at Coors Field. 8 for 15 overall against Colorado last year. In the air down the right field line. The wind's going to push that one into the seats. 2-strike count on Quintero. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Quintero's never made an out against Chacin. He's 3 for 3, including a home run against him. Time to change that around. Barmes off of first. Rockies leading 6-0 here in the top of the second inning. The short should be 2. Rockies turn it over, and they'll get to the bat rack again against Brett Myers, up 6-0. Fowler, Gonzalez, Tulowitzki.
All right, guys, thanks very much. I was crunching some numbers last night about the Rockies' chances the remainder of the season. Now, I do understand it is an uphill battle for these guys to make it to the postseason, but take a look at this. Now, they have 34 games left, including tonight's game against the Astros. 13 of those games are with the two teams ahead of them, the Giants and the Diamondbacks. If you look at the strength of schedule for these three teams in terms of who they have left to play, it's relatively similar. Now, the Diamondbacks and Giants each have 6 games left with opponents who have a better than 500 record. The Rockies, 15 games left. Is it going to be the first one?
I don't know. It may be. It's hit a long way. Schaefer. He ran to 880. George, remember that before they went to the metric system? The 800 meters was the 880. He ran the 880 to get to that baseball.
I want to hear the rest of this.
I'm standing over here right by the Astros bullpen. I'm like, is it coming over here in the bullpen? It's going to be fantastic. Jordan Schaefer makes it not happen. But my point is, guys, they have an opportunity left in here. Now, Jim Tracy said yesterday, of course, every time he gets the stat pack, unless it has an X next to the name, he's going to play to win ball games. I know it's an uphill battle, but like Jim Carrey said in Dumb and Dumber, you're saying there's a chance, guys.
And that's how you have to think. And if you're a baseball player, Alana, and it's a great report, if you're a baseball player, George, you're conditioned to realize that it's a marathon and you never know what can happen. Is it likely? No, of course not. There's a huge hole. But it wasn't likely a few years ago either.
It's going to take a lot of things to fall into right place, but I can tell you this, it won't be the first time it's all happened in a positive way for a ball club. But Jim Tracy in his pregame radio show today said, and they have 7 games with the Astros, and he said, I am not disrespecting the Astros by any means. But when you
if this is
fair, the other way, Went. Go the other way.
The wind's messing with this. It's still fair. Number 22 for Cargo. And now we can hand out tacos. The 29th home run allowed this year by Brett Myers. I'd say Cargo's locked in. Is that fair?
That's fair to say. I just looking at the wind and how it's blowing way up high in the stadium. Flag's blowing out to left field into that corner. He hit this pitch, and I'm like, blow hard now, Win, so he doesn't hook it up into the seats. He blew it just enough to keep this thing in fair territory. Oh, that's fun to watch. What a swing.
Too low, pops it up. Going out as a second baseman, Altuve, and he makes a catch and then falls over Bogusevic.
I saw him wave everybody off that he had to play. This is a tough little guy. I see him waving, I got it, and then looking behind him. I never did see Bogusevic say that, I'll take it, because you stay with it as a middle infielder until you hear the outfielder say, I got it.
Helton drove in a run with a single his first time up. 7-0 Colorado. Jason Giambi has talked about some of the home runs he's hit at the old Yankee Stadium that, right down the line where they were hooked, but they were hooked around the pole, so they went out fair, and then by the time they landed, they were about 7-8 rows to the right or the foul side of the pole. That is exactly what happened with Cargo's ball. By the time it landed, it was half a dozen rows or so foul.
By the way, Helton got career RBI 1,305 with that last RBI. Ties Clemente, how about that, and Sam Thompson. For 101st, there's those 2 words again, Drew, all time. Out of 17,982 players, Doug?
We were looking at looking at that the other day. It's just amazing, it really is, to think that you're among the top 100 in any category, much less runs batted in. Here's the 3-1. That's off the plate. Brett Myers struggling. 2 outs. Helton will go to first, and Wigginton, who doubled, will come up. Well, we've got tacos. Fans, don't forget to make your way to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Good pitch on the outside corner. at the knees.
By the way, Ryan Spilborg's 1 for 2 with a home run in his rehab start at Colorado Springs. Hit a home run in the first inning, leading off the ball game.
On the ground is short. That's all for the Rockies in the second, but they get another run on Carlos Gonzalez's 22nd big fly of the year. He's now hitting an even 400 over his last 10 ball games, including 6 home runs and 19 RBIs. That's pretty good stuff. Toyota moving forward by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By McDonald's during McNuggets Mania at McDonald's, get 50 juicy chicken McNuggets for just $9.99. And by the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. Rockies up 7-0 after 2 innings of play. Brett Myers, on the first pitch he saw of the inning, poked a single to right. So now Jordan Schaefer is at the plate. That fastball is away from Chassin. Here's Myers.
Well, he was in a hurry to start the inning, so he just swung at the very first pitch and just lined a soft line drive to right field. Third type of hit off of Chassin out of the 4th.
Schaefer struck out looking his first time up. Well, that's a heck of a catch he made, George, running down that 420-foot drive by Dexter Fowler. Schaefer runs well, but you can't outrun that gun. Tulowitzki firing to first, and the Rockies have now turned 2 double plays behind Chassin, which is not a surprise because when Jolis is on, you get strikeouts, you get a lot of ground balls.
When he's right, he's got the good sinker working. You're absolutely right. You'll see an awful lot of ground ball outs.
And here's Jose Altuve. And he swings at the first pitch and he hits a gapper to right center field. The scouting report on this kid's right on so far. He doesn't walk a lot, but he has tremendous hand-eye coordination.
You got a small target to throw through to at home plate, so that reduces your strike zone. Obviously a very good low ball hitter. So he got a pitch that he could drive, and all he's done is just keep hitting the baseball. That's all that happens to him. And he just keeps moving on. Like Drew said, they're 390 at the minor league level. A lot of doubles.
Yeah, he was hit 389 when he was called up. 2 different levels this year, high A and double A. And the 389 average was the highest in minor league baseball, and he hasn't tailed off. He's played 30 games. He's hit 26 of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his average 325 after that hit today in this ball game.
JD Martinez singled his first time, and he lines one to right. Carr go up with the baseball, and Altuve gets a stop sign. Dave Clark, who's had long discussions recently with Jose Altuve, he got his message across there. They had a little tete-a-tete the other day when he ran through a couple of stop signs. You can see a little grin on Dave Clark's face there.
Yeah, he ran through one yesterday, but it was inside the park home run when he stopped him. This one here, he was well down the line. See how far Clark is down the line. He's almost a home plate stopping this. See, Clark watch, he's waving him, and then whoop, put the brakes on and head back, son. You're not got a chance on this arm.
Dave Clark realizes A, it's 7-0, and B, that's Carlos Gonzalez throwing the baseball out there.
And you would hope in the middle of the lineup, if the offense continues, Carlos Lee got a base hit on a hanging slider early. Leads their team with 68 RBIs. You're down 7-0. You don't run yourself out of innings.
The 1-0 on Lee, and that's fouled off.
Well, spend at least $25 in one transaction at King Supers, and you can buy up to 4 tickets to a Rockies game for $14 each. Stop by one of your King Super stores for that great offer today.
And the 35-year-old Lee takes a strike. It's 1-2. Lee, a longtime Chicago White Sox. This is his 5th year in Houston, and he's signed through next year. One, two, and he gets him on a slider. Nicely done by Chacin with runners at first and third. Middle of 3, 7-0 Colorado. Touchdown. How about that? Bottom of the 3rd inning. Mark Ellis, Chris Iannetta, and Jhoulys Chacin. All season long, join us in the 6th inning for Toyota Talk. Join us after the game on the Toyota postgame show for Toyota Talk as well. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments and questions to 720-720. Well, the Rockies next year will play their 20th season. Mark Ellis hits this ball fairly well to right field. Brian Bogusevic makes the catch, 1 out. Well, topic tonight, George, you have one?
No, I haven't really thought of that yet. I've just been watching and having fun, watching all these base hits and guys score.
I agree. Chris,
what's yours? What are you thinking about?
Well, some folks in the truck are thinking about the fact that now there's a lot of ex-Rockies around whenever you've been around for a couple decades.
How many ex-Rockies have played both for the Rockies? That's a we can't. That's trivia. There's 49 of those.
That would drive people crazy.
There's 49 ex-Rockies that have played for the Astros too.
Name your favorite ex-Rockies. I bet you Clint Barnes would get a lot of votes. Go back to years ago, guys who played for the Rockies and then moved on.
So whose idea in the truck was
Vinny
that?
moved on, came back.
Yeah, Vinny only played about 100. He played like 122 games for him. In 2001, he did hit 23 home runs, have 82 RBIs.
He did what Vinny normally does.
Go Quebec. Go Quebec. Brad Mills actually managed AAA team for a while for the Rockies.
He won. Didn't he win a PCL title
in '95? He did that. Jamie Quirk, coach for the Rockies, is a bench coach for a long time. Now works in the bullpen.
2-2. Okay, another topic I was thinking about was, sometimes with teams we haven't seen this year, say your top 3 all-time players on that team, because Houston's had some talent in 50 years. That's not a good idea. Myers knocked it down with his bare hand. He's going to get the out.
Now that's kind of typical of Brett Myers. I mean, he's just one of those guys that's going to play the game and play it hard and do anything he can to win. Falls off first base side. That rotation, reaches back with the bare hand, grabs it, recovers, and gets the out.
Chacin with 2 outs. A 2-run double in that first inning.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Alex White getting his first start in a Rocky uniform. 1-0, 3.60 ERA in 3 games and 3 starts with the Cleveland Indians.
Two-strike count on Chacin. Chacin hits a little floater. Barmes will get back and make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning, a first in this ball game for Brett Myers. Rockies leading 7-0. Time for our AT&T trivia question. Todd Helton needs 3 ribbies to move into the top 100 all-time. Got an RBI tonight on a base hit. 3 players who have played for the Rockies are in the top 100. Can you name them? All right, Brian Bogusevic will lead it off, then Jimmy Paredes and Clint Barmas, 5, 6, and 7 for the Astros. They do have 6 hits. They do not have a run. Chacín trying to become the first Rocky pitcher in double figures in wins this year, sitting at 9 and 10. The other crazy thing, George, is Chacín has limited the opposition to that low batting average, 214 coming in. And with the departure of Jimenez and the injury to De La Rosa early on, Chacín is your ace, and yet the Rockies have lost 9 of his last 10 starts.
And part of that has been obviously his fault for pitching poorly. But the other side of that is the game that you lose, the tight ball games, where you end up making a start as he did against the Washington Nationals before the break, where it's 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, and walks away with a loss. That's tough to eat those kind. 8 innings, 2 runs against Cincinnati, a loss.
Young going back. This is well hit. It's gone. Give you an idea how strong Bogusevic is. His 4th home run of the year, the converted pitcher. And it's 7-1.
Swung and missed very badly on a slider down and in. Now you try to take a pitch and go away from him with it. You can see Iannetta on the missed location by Chacín that cost him a home run. Ball was up, it was away, they wanted it in, and he took it opposite field over the head of Ewing.
One and 1 on Paredes. And this ball's well hit to left. EY still going back, leaps, and it's off his glove. And it'll be in all likelihood a double for Paredes.
Dexter Fowler, it to me would have to be because of the distance EY ran. Jumped at the last second. The ball hits off of the glove, dies, and by the time he recovers, obviously Paredes at second base with a double.
So Barmas with nobody out, Paredes at second base.
Part of the reason EY plays shallow is the lack of arm strength, particularly with the men in scoring position. He shortens up a little bit on balls in front so you can have the play at the plate.
And a ground ball foul. Let's go back a few years. A memory none of us will ever forget. We followed the Rockies. Clint Barmas against Trevor Hoffman. The walk-off home run in front of 50,000 on opening day in 2005. And that catapulted him to an extraordinary month. He was among the league leaders in batting average, slugging percentage. He was doing everything. That's when he first got on everybody's radar. A lot of terrific moments for Barmas. That was the highlight individually. He had to put a number on him. Here goes Chacín. He wants to play defense. That may have thrown off Helton.
Everybody backed away. Todd sprinting to get to the baseball, and he's extremely deep behind the bag. Todd will be disappointed in the effort that he didn't get the ball, but when he hears everybody come and see him glance over and look one step, looking to see where Chassin was, and that one hesitation prevented from him getting there to make a play on the ball.
Second life for Barmas. He pops this one up also. Mark Ellis in shallow center field makes a catch. 1 out. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. There's the club level. 1 out, a run in, and a runner at second in Paredes. Humberto Quintero is at the plate. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his first time. Kind of strange. You look up on the scoreboard. The Rockies leading 7-1. It's just the 4th inning, yet the Rockies have been out hit 8-7.
A lot of soft line drives early in the game against Yolis, so he's had to fight through those to try to get things out of innings. It's not been easy so far.
And that's gloved by Wigginton. 2 outs. Brett Myers with 2 outs will hit, but Jason Michaels, at least initially, was in the on-deck circle for Brad Mills. If there were 2 more on and only 1 out, he was going to play the offensive card in the 4th inning. You can understand that.
Particularly when he's looking at the Rockies lineup card and seeing the top of the lineup starting out at the bottom of the 4th inning. Top 3 Rockies: base hit, double, home run, 4-run score. Not a happy thought to look at the top of the lineup for the Rockies tonight if you're Brad Mills.
And it's 3-0 on Myers. And he walked him on 4 pitches. We've seen him do that. He starts spraying the fastball. And when he does that, even a pitcher who's standing there like a mannequin doesn't get a strike.
And why would they swing at it? I mean, there's no reason to. But frustrating, very frustrating for a manager and a pitching coach.
He's got the big lead as Bob Apodaca turns his back and returns to the dugout. But he's allowed 9 base runners here in 3 2/3. That's a boatload. Get your CSU football season tickets and reserve your seats for big home games. The Air Force Academy, the Wyoming Cowboys, Boise State, just to name 3 that'll be in Fort Collins at Sonny Lubick Field this year. Sideline season tickets include the Cinch Jeans Rocky Mountain Showdown. That's the CSU CU game, of course. Call 800-491-RAMS or visit csurams.com. Jordan Schaefer out in front of a changeup. It's 0-1 on Schaefer. Strikeout, a 4-6-3 double play for Schaefer. If you're wondering what those signals are about, it's in case there's a double steal. Iannetta letting his infielders know where he's going to throw it. Now, it's highly unlikely that you'd see that, but you still have to make plans for it. Help flips to Chassin in the inning, a home run by Bogasevic. It's 7-1. Fast Cash Sideline Report time. Brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana?
All right, guys, you had talked a little bit about it earlier with Brad Mills, the skipper of the Houston Astros. He was a part of the Colorado Rockies organization, won the PCL title in 1995. Here's a bit of a file on him. He played the better part of 3 seasons with the Montreal Expos, 256 career average, 106 games. Part of history, though, he was Nolan Ryan's victim for 3,509th strikeout, putting him in the history books. Worked for 6 different Major League Baseball organizations. He was with the Sky Sox from 93 to 96. And October 27th of 2009, he was named the manager of the Astros. A little bit more information for you guys on Brad Mills.
All right, Alana, thank you. Eric Young will step up for the third time in the ball game already. And he bounces one to Altuve.
And by the way, Brad's son, a first-round draft pick who went to a Division I school, didn't like it, moved to South Dakota to Lewis and Clark, drafted as a #1 player.
That up in Washington?
No, it's in North Dakota, South Dakota.
Lewis and Clark?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think so.
You're not sure.
When Dougie gets here, he'll let you know.
Lewis and Clark, I thought.
Well, look it up on your computer. You got it right there.
It was on another page. We'll find out. Dexter has tried to hit the ball out twice, George, in this game. He's got a double off the right field wall, and he's got a 422-foot out. Lewis and Clark is in Portland, Oregon.
There you go. I'm going to look that up, though. I think his son went to Lewis and Clark. I'm going to find out right now.
That's a good baseball program.
Very good baseball program.
You just moved him to South Dakota. There's a whole lot of kids who are driving right now furiously, and all of a sudden, our friend in the in the little box that gets us around there, George, when we're driving around the country, when they say rerouting.
Oh, make a U-turn?
Yeah, make a U-turn. You know what I'm trying to say. Fowler's gone. 2 outs. Cargo's coming up. That's 6 straight retired now by Myers.
By the way, his son, #1 draft pick with the with Cleveland Indians in '07, played in Double-A last year.
Cargo's had a night already. 2-run double and a home run right down the line. The only question with this one was, would it stay fair? And it goes soft away again. It's 1-1. Cargo coming into the ball game was 3 for 29 lifetime against Houston. He's turning that around.
Look out in left field. How cool is that? Hey, you talk about pretty. That is absolutely gorgeous. Doug, somewhere out there it's raining, I'm telling you.
1-2, and Cargo hits it on the ground to Lee. And another 1-2-3 inning in the 4th for Brett Myers. Rockies up 7-1. sign up for Express Toll and pay 20% less in tolls on E470. After this Houston series, and a reminder on Wednesday, that ball game will not be televised Wednesday afternoon. Rockies are off Thursday, and then they'll resume from Los Angeles Friday night. Saturday is a Fox game, 2 in the afternoon. And then Sunday, back here on Root Sports. Monday, we'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. On the ground to Ty Wigginton, and he'll throw out Altuve. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now, even though there's been some trouble for Chacin, it's been short trouble. 65 pitches as he works here with 1 out in the 5th.
JD Martinez, 2 singles. 1 to left and 1 to right. 20th round pick who going into the season was one among the top 5 prospects in the Houston organization. And you got to do a lot of good work in the minor leagues to move up the charts like he has. He's a Miami area kid. And he was drafted out of Nova Southeastern University. Not real familiar with that school. George, that's South Dakota.
Say that again. The what school? Where?
Nova Southeastern University. And I wanted to know if that was in South Dakota.
No, it's up by New York somewhere.
Naturally, that's why they say Southeastern, right? No, it's in Florida, folks. We know that. See how impressive Martinez has been already. He's the first Astro player and the 5th player in Major League history to hit 4 home runs and have 12 RBIs in his first 10 Major League games. Shattered bat, and Wigginton will throw to help, 2 outs. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. What did we decide on, George?
Well, you threw it out there. It wasn't me. It wasn't a we in there. You don't have a mouse in your pocket. This was all you, your favorite ex-Rocky.
Oh, we had that one.
There's a whole bunch of them.
I tell you what, we'll do that one tonight. Tomorrow we'll do the top 3 Houston Astros of all time.
Well, you do either one of those. I mean.
Well, no, we'll do that one tomorrow.
Okay.
Giving it to that's a first. We're giving it to everybody a day early. Carlos Lee, a single and a strikeout. 35-year-old Panamanian.
Who was it that didn't get along with him?
Corpus.
Manny Corpus. Yeah, there was something going on. Yeah.
Went back to their time playing together in the WBC. He hit Lee with a pitch. Base hit for Carlos. And that'll bring up Brian Bogasevic.
That is one big human being, Carlos Lee.
So, you know, George, remember when he used to steal some bases too?
Oh, I remember that. He stole 3 so far this year, but he used to steal double digits regularly.
And he used to hit 300 regularly. He's a career 287 hitter coming in. He's tailed off a little bit the last couple of seasons, but Carlos Lee, quite an offensive player. Bogasevic, big star at Tulane, former #1 pick of Houston as a pitcher.
I wonder if he was there with Micah Owings. I bet he was at Tulane.
1-1. Looking at his minor league pitching numbers, 14-21 with a 5.11 ERA. 77 games, 64 starts.
I'm saying he was a two-way guy at Tulane.
He was a two-way guy. His first team All-American there. He had 328 his last year there. 3-1 from the Chicago area. On the corner, 3-2.
Huh. So what changed the mind of him on 5 from 4? Hope he has the same kind of decision making here. We'll get some more lumber.
Yeah, you know, Shasin's given up 8 hits. He's broken a lot of bats though tonight.
Now, can you purchase Rockies tickets on your Android or iPhone at ColoradoRockies.com? 9 hits for the Astro, the one by Lee. He made it 9 in the ballgame against Shasin.
This ball's well hit right center field. And it takes one hop into the bullpen, and that's a break for the Rockies because Lee is already at home plate. He's got to go back to third. A ground rule double for Bogasevic.
Yeah, well, second ball he's hit hard. The other opposite field home run. This time a ball up again. He has turned on and put it into right center field. Thought maybe he might have another home run in this ball game. It bounced right on the warning track, caught the top of the fence and into their bullpen. Paredes with a double in his last at bat. Some pitches here. Don't give up anything in the 5th inning. Things cruised along, 2 ground balls to third, and then all of a sudden, look out. 10 hits now for the Astros.
10 hits, just 1 run. As you said, George, if he can get Paredes here, stand another 2 in scoring position.
He's only had 13 chances with men in scoring position.
He's going to get out of it.
Yeah, 6 for 13 prior to that. He did get out of it. Good for him.
7-1 Rockies, middle of 5. Rizzo, time for our Geico quote of the day. Troy Tulowitzki, after the Rockies won 5-3 yesterday, their first Sunday win since April the 17th against the Cubs. The toughest part was talking about it all the time. You start to think about it. Obviously, we're out there playing. It's in the back of our heads. It's kind of over with now. Tulowitzki leading off here in the 5th inning. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop to second. Helton and Wigginton will follow. Brett Myers has all of a sudden retired 7 in a row. Gave up 6 in the first on 6 hits. Gave up a solo home run in the second to Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo has 3 RBIs. Helton has an RBI. Mark Ellis an RBI. And Chacin has 2 ribbies on a double. And that's through the left side, a base hit for Troy. To answer our AT&T trivia question. Helton closing in on the top 100 all-time in RBIs. 3 who have played for the Rockies are in the top 100. Were you able to name them? One's in the dugout right now. Jason Giambi, he's 71st. The Big Cat finished at 64th. And home in West Palm Beach, maybe looking in tonight, Larry Walker with 1,311 RBIs. Doug put a list together of guys that have been affiliated with the Rockies. Don Baylor was 112th on that, or is 112th on that all-time list. Ellis Burks 141st. Steve Finley 164. Bichette drove in 1,141. He's 173rd. Todd Seal. Vinny,
see, I got wait. I got to say,
197.
Finley's what?
164.
All right, he doesn't count with the Rockies. He's here 43 games. How many RBIs did he have in a Rockies uniform?
Not many, but it counts.
Doug, you're stretching.
Helton a single and a walk. Here's the 2-1. 3-1. Yesterday, the Rockies won 5-3 with 3 hits. It's only the 6th time they've ever won a game with 3 hits or less. First time they've ever produced 5 runs or more in a game with just 3 hits. Prior to yesterday, the fewest hits the Rockies had in a game that they won this year was 4. They beat Chicago at Wrigley on April 25th. 5-3, same score with 4 hits. Strike 3 on Helton. Got frozen there on a slider.
Tell you what, give Myers some little pat on the back. Did you really think he'd still be in the game after 6 runs in the first? I mean, I didn't. And then all of a sudden, Cargo's home run. You're thinking, you know, this guy's battler and a competitor, but I'm not sure he'd still be here in the 5th inning. He is, and a strikeout of Helton. 73 pitches thrown in the game by Myers.
Wigginton a double and a run scored and a ground ball to short. I want to point something out, George, about Lewis and Clark College. There's 2 Lewis and Clark schools.
I know there's one in Lewiston, Idaho, and that's the one that's the one I was talking about.
What state's that in?
I just said Lewiston, Idaho.
Right.
I just said Idaho.
I just want to make sure you knew it's not in South Dakota.
No, but it's close. A lot closer than what the other one you guys came up with. Tell you that.
Well, that's the one. The one in Portland is where Bo Mills went.
Right.
1-1 on Wigginton. You know we're going to hear from some graduates of Lewis and Clark. You will not be their commencement speaker anytime soon.
Never know.
This ball pulled to left. Well, base hit for Todd.
He just keeps wearing out Brett Myers. These two have gotten along to the tune of 23 at bats. Excuse me, let's make that 25 at bats. He's got 12 hits against him. Big numbers. Line shot to left field.
Tulowitzki at second. Wigginton at first. Mark Ellis at the plate. Ellis 1 for 2, an infield single that produced a run in the first inning.
Hey, check out Power Tickets, that's right, which include $10 to $15 of concession credit. Available in the midfield box or outfield club sections. So call the Rockies today or go online to ColoradoRockies.com and find out more about Power Tickets.
Down the line, and nice play by Paredes. He gets a double play. 5-3 off the bat of Mark Ellis. So we move on to the 6th inning. The Rockies leading 7-1. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Briconyr. For all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Briconyr at 303-777-3037. Think green, think Briconyr. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by the Bank of the West, for a personal approach to banking, go West. Bank of the West. Clint Barmas at the plate, takes strike one. You know, it may surprise some people. Barmas, who came up as a shortstop, played almost as many games at second base for the Rockies as he did at short. Played 306 at second, 333 at short. He's 4th in club history in games played at short, and he's 2nd in club history to EY Senior in games played at second.
Two in a row.
He's an example, George, as Toyota talk goes by. He's an example of an outstanding draft. 2000, he was drafted in the 10th round. 10th round pick gets to the big league, his job well done, and gets to the big leagues and has the kind of success Barmas has had. Well, it's a real special draft pick.
Well, you look at that draft, those couple of years there, you had Barmas, you had Brad Hopp, that was a late round, you had Corey Sullivan, Garrett Atkins, a lot of guys that were contributed in big ways.
See Atkins' name, Jamie Carroll there.
Ellis Burks pops up a couple of times, the big cat earlier.
Favorite former Rockies.
Brian Bohannon, the big Bo!
The mighty Bo!
Yes! Can't believe Bohannon would do that. He and Larry Walker must be sending all the texts in.
Brad Hops will be on the mend for a little bit. He just underwent Tommy John surgery. And Vinny's a lot of people's favorites. Vinny's at the ballpark every day. Another 0-2 pitch to Barmas, and a ground ball right back to Chacin. Got a little rain at the ballpark, George.
Been going on for about a half an inning. Had some lightning out behind center field. Doug said no rain. I smelled it. I said rain. Now I want it to go away.
There's a vote from Pocatello, Idaho for Clint Barmas.
Right
There's a line drive to right center field. Quintero has a base hit. That's 11 hits now for Houston. And JB Shuck is going to pinch hit. Former Rocky is up in the bullpen. Manuri Rodriguez. He was traded for Jason Hamill to Tampa. He's now moved on to Houston. There's Jamie Quirk. He runs the bullpen for Brad Mills. This is just the second time Shuck has ever pinch hit. 0 for 1. This is easily the most hits that Chacin has given up in a start. Previous high was 9. Against the Cubs in Chicago. That makeup game on June 27th. 0-2. It's fouled off. Miguel Olivo sighting. He's hit some home runs for Seattle this year. Side on Shuck. And Shuck hits a bouncer to Ellis. There's one on first. Double play. Third time the Rockies have turned a double play behind Chacin tonight. Middle of 6, 7-1 Rockies. Myers in inning number 1. Carlos Gonzalez with 2 aboard, doubled. And Young and Fowler came around. Then Todd Helton, a little further down the lineup, drove in Carlos Gonzalez with a base hit. Rockies were far from done. Here's an infield hit from Mark Ellis to score a run. And then Jolie Chassis, and he thought he made an out. He ended up with a double to left center field. That scored 2 more. Rockies had 10 come to the plate. Second inning. Cargo again. This time he got to trot around the bases for the 22nd time this year. Rockies have a 7-1 lead as they come to bat here in the 6th inning. And a former Rocky farmhand, a guy that pretty well thought of, came up through the Dominican program, Onuri Rodriguez, who was traded for Jason Hamill a couple of years ago at the end of spring training.
Yeah, young right-hander. You can see will strike out a few people. 73 1/3 innings this season with the Houston Astros. Good break for him. He's worked long man out of the bullpen over 33 games. He'll get an opportunity to go against his former ball club. And Inetta fouls this pitch off. So Myers goes 5 innings, gives up 7 runs on 9 hits. Walked 2 and struck out 3. Rodriguez, see why Tampa liked him originally. He's got a strong arm. Very strong arm. He's made 8 starts this year for Houston. And the opposition hitting .242 against him, so that's indicative of pretty good stuff. And they're in a hitters friendly ballpark. Somebody texted in, an old friend George, who said Dale Murphy. Nobody mentioned Dale Murphy. The Rockies brought him in '93. So in the hope he'd hit his 400th home run in a Rockies uniform. That's fouled off. 3-2.
Great gesture by Bob Gebhardt to do that and bring him in, try to get 400 home runs. And saw Dale last year in Claremore, Oklahoma. There's a banquet every year. Bobby Richardson has been a guest speaker. There's been a lot of really good people come back. Last year, Dale Murphy came into town. Looks like he could still go play.
This ball's well hit, but Schaefer was shaded toward right center field. 1 out. Chassin will come up. Rockies leading 7-1. Rockies fans, Root Sports is looking for the biggest baseball fans in the Rocky Mountain region. If you live, eat, and breathe baseball, we want you to share your photos. This month, we're looking for the ultimate Rocky Mountain fans in the state of Wyoming. And we'll feature all of you during our broadcast. And here's how you enter. Visit our website at rockymountain.rootsports.com. 2 outs. Dale Murphy was a good guy.
Great guy. You know, actually, when I first played against him, 1977, winter ball in the Dominican, he was a catcher.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a tall, lean catcher, huh?
Yeah, but his problem was he had a tough time throwing it back to the pitcher into second. So he used to throw to second, he'd hit the pitcher. I remember Joaquin Andujar, remember him? The crazy guy? Well, he was catching for Escogido. Dale was. Dale was.
Right.
And Joaquin comes in, fires, and the guys try to steal second. He hit Joaquin right in the rear end and dropped him on the mound. There started. I think that's when the thought process started working about center field for Dale. Joaquin went down looking like a shot dog, man. He hit the dirt. Like, where did that just come from? He turned his back on the ball.
EY with a 1-strike count. Did you ever get hit?
Oh, no. I got off the mound. I'm getting out of the way. When they throw down to second, they got a purpose. I'm leaving it. They can do it.
You have to have a pretty strong arm to throw the ball 128 feet and have it at the height, 3.5 feet off the ground where it's going to hit somebody in the derriere.
The hardest I've ever seen thrown down to second base, Steve Lake, a backup catcher, was 96 miles an hour.
Cubs.
To second base, yeah. Well, he could throw. Couldn't hit. I mean, he couldn't hit not only the ocean, he couldn't hit the earth with a paddle. But man, he could catch and throw.
1-2. Rodriguez on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball strikes out Ewok. 1-2-3 inning for Nuri Rodriguez. 7-1 Rocks. Energy high efficiency inning, and we focus in on the 6th inning for Jolie Chassin. Clint Barmas, after fouling off a few pitches, will comebacker, and then a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of the pinch hitter J.B. Shuck. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Breaking balls high to Jordan Schaefer, ball 1. Schaefer in his Astro debut is 0 for 3, strikeout, double play, and a ground ball to first. 2-0. And comebacker with 1 out. Let's see what Alana Rizzo's up to. Alana.
All right, guys, thanks very much. Mark Melanson in Coors Field tonight, and he is a Houston Astros reliever, but he is a local boy from Golden, Colorado, and I'm up here right above the Astros bullpen with the Melanson clan. I'm here with all of his family. His parents and grandparents are in the suite where they should be, but I'm here with his cousins, his second cousins, his aunt and uncle, and Jonathan Sanders has agreed to be the family spokesperson, and you had seen him at Yankee Stadium when he was with the Yankees, and you guys say that you're Rockies fans only accept this series. Tell me about that.
Yeah, 362 days a year we're Rockies fans, except for when Mark Melanson comes to town. We're really excited to get to watch him.
Now, you guys are right above the Astros bullpen. You could not have gotten any closer to him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. He hooked us up and got us right above him and throwing us a few balls, so I'm pretty happy about that. How
cool is it, though, to see your cousin be able to pitch at the major league level and watch him here at this game? Not in the game yet, but just to see him here. It's awesome. I tell you what, he's followed his dream. He had Tommy John surgery out of college, and he's come back, and he's pitching really well right now. And just one problem, he plays for the Astros, but that's okay. You'll give him a pass at least until he becomes a Rocky, if that ever happens. But, guys, I want to throw it back to you and tell you this, that his uncle Steve used to play catch with Mark when he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he said even at that point he could tell he had a special arm. A lot of family members say that. It turned out to be true in Mark's case, guys. All right, Alana, he was drafted out of Golden High School in the 30th round by the Dodgers, did not sign, went to the U of A, University of Arizona, all-time saves leader there, and then was drafted in the 6th round, or excuse me, in the 9th round in 06 by the Yankees.
Good story. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Altuve. And he bounces one to short. Tulowitzki throws him out. So you look at Renicky on the right side, Josh Renicky, and Matt Reynolds on the left side.
Just in case you get into that position, 7-1 ball game, 104 pitches for Yolis. You start to watch those kind of things. Drew, you have a piece of pink paper stuck to your forehead. What does that say? What was that with Johnny Carson? What was his buddy?
Karnak.
Karnak. What does it say? What are you looking up?
It was Reynolds and Renicky.
Oh.
JD Martinez lifts a fly ball to shallow left field. Ewa makes a catch. 1, 2, 3, 7th inning for Chassin. 7-1 Rockies. The power of engineering. Well, in AAA with the Sky Sox, Ryan Spilborg's on a rehab, 2 for 4 tonight, including a home run. For Tulsa, Willeen Rosario's heating up again, George, with the long ball. 19th of the season Sunday in a 6-2 loss to Frisco. And for Modesto, good-looking young shortstop Josh Rutledge, 342 batting average, which is second in the California League. IA ball. And for Casper, we were telling you the story of number 2 pick Trevor Story. Texas high school kid, 292 average, 5 home runs in 33 games. Really excited about his future. Now Jim Tracy comes over, a handshake and a pat on the head for Chassin. Well over 100 pitches, 7 innings. He's in charge 7-1. So the Rockies will hand it over to the bullpen for the final 6 outs. Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki against Anuri Rodriguez. George, we were on a trip to the Dominican a few years ago in the fall. We got to see Anuri Rodriguez throw at the Rockies Dominican Academy. Skinny, hard throwing right-hander who's put on a few good pounds since then. He's a strong looking kid.
Well, particularly in his lower half where he's done most of the work down there. I think that's the one thing that jumps out for me.
Two and two on Dexter.
Hey, have you thought about this? Why don't you buy a suite? And guess what? You get another one free. Did you know that? Probably didn't, did you? Well, you do. It's called the buy one, get one free suite special. There's some still available in September. 303-312-2444 for more information.
And Rodriguez strikes out Fowler. He's retired all 4 hitters he's faced so far since coming on last inning. And that'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez.
Probably in a better role for Rodriguez, as he had started a couple of ball games not as successful as he has been out of the bullpen. Don't expose his stuff beyond 2, maybe 3 innings max, and he can dominate a ball game. But to get extended beyond that, he had trouble.
Cargo double home run, the ground ball to first. Off the plate, ball 1. Gonzalez with the 2 hits now has the average to 290. '79 RBIs. Well located at 95, 1-2.
You just kind of watch a little bit occasionally how they operate, and again, this guy's keeping everything away. Swing and a miss on the last pitch, the third off the zone, but had a lot of movement with it. Fastball away again. Catcher giving that fist, wants him to air it out. He did it. He got the punch out, up and away. 3 strikeouts now.
Tulowitzki coming up. Troy is 1 for 3. Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. Among National League shortstops, Tulowitzki is way out in front of the class offensively. Defensively, he's ahead of the class also, but in terms of home runs, he's got 25. The next best is Jimmy Rollins, who just went on the disabled list today with a groin injury. He's got 14. Jimmy's second in RBIs with 58. Tulowitzki has 86 ribbies. Rockies have only 2 hits since the second inning when Gonzalez hit a home run. But they got plenty in the first inning. 6 runs on 6 hits. Two and two. Struck out the side. In fact, he struck out 4 in a row. Good news is the Rockies still lead by 6 runs. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Rockies jumped all over Brett Myers in the first inning. 10 came to the plate, 6 scored. Rockies got a solo home run from Carlos Gonzalez in the second. Not much offensively since then. And Chacin, in the literal use of the adjective, scattered. He has scattered 11 hits, and now he gives way to Matt Reynolds. 11 hits, just 1 run for Houston.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a rough outing. That drove the ERA up to 3.95 against the Dodgers in that 13-inning ball game. It's ahead here with strike 1.
Lee's got a couple of singles in the game. Just missed, 1-1. So go back to Lee's early days in Houston. First year he had 303, second year 314, third year 300.
Well, he got the contract for a reason. He can swing the bat, and did for a long time.
He's hit 342 home runs in his big league career. And he's driven in over 1,200. Ground ball to Mark Ellis. Here we're talking about the stolen bases with Lee. He was in double figures 7 times in his career high of 18 back in 03 with the White Sox, and he got caught only 4 times.
Seeing him walk into the dugout, I mean, his body and size just reminds me of Frank Thomas, which was a very big human being.
Yes. Thomas was a tight end at Auburn.
Also just had a statue erected outside of the ballpark there in Chicago. That's how much they thought of him there in a White Sox uniform.
Ryan Bogusevic at the plate. 0-2. He swung the bat well in this ball game. Home run and a double in 3 trips, 1-2 count. Came into the ball game hitting .423 over his last 11.
Interesting note, with Reynolds in the game now, there's only been 2 pitchers this season to give up 11 hits and just 1 run in a game. Now Chacin's out of the game through 7. Nolasco did it July 3rd against Atlanta and won the ball game. And Billingsley on May 30th against the Rockies did and won the ball game. 11 hits, 1 run. That's working out of trouble. That's turning 3 double plays behind you in the ball game.
That's what I was going to say. You're going to have some double plays turned behind you. And Jolice did. You can see it's a great call by the home plate umpire, Mark Carlson. Got a piece of it and it hit the dirt. Didn't bite at that slider. It's 3-2. Big moment for Bogusevic less than a week ago. He came up as a pinch hitter and hit a walk-off grand slam to beat the Cubs. First career pinch hit home run.
Is that off Marmol?
First career grand slam.
Is that off Marmol?
Not sure who it was off.
Well, you think 9th inning, walk off, you know, down 2, bases loaded. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. He's a pretty good closer to do it against. 29 saves now.
And this one is going to drop. That's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Bogusevic. Take a look at our CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Myers 91 and Chacin 94. So Chacin goes 7 innings, a 1 run on 11 hits we talked about, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Jimmy Paredes.
It was off Marmol, by the way, that grand slam. Doug just looked it up for us. Thank you, Doug.
Bob Apodaco like this, George. 106 pitches for Chacin, 73 strikes.
Well, that's something he hadn't been doing of late. That makes you feel a little bit better about it. Particularly, I thought he had really good command when he needed to go get a pitch. He got it in the hard slider. Very good tonight.
And 11 hits, but I would say at least half of them were kind of the soft variety. They're still hits, but
yeah, they weren't crushed.
Two-year-old Paredes. He was part of the Berkman deal last year to the Yankees. They're moving their guys quickly out of necessity. George, he was an A-ball last year.
Well, I think what they're going to do, they're looking at a lot of different players, and quite honestly, Drew, they're looking at it from a standpoint of, let's find out what they can do, and let's get them to the big leagues. If they're a Double-A and they're hitting 300, let's see if they can do it in the big leagues. If they're doing this at certain levels, and Brad Mills, you know, unfortunately, when he came over here for his first managing job after being around the Boston Red Sox and Francona for so long and winning world championships, I know it's hard for him to swallow, but it's also a challenge a lot of guys like to accept, to teach young guys how to play the game. And a lot of those things that go on out of his control, payroll, you know, depleting a payroll, trading off big name guys, eating contracts, getting rid of guys and having to go smaller and develop with them.
2 outs. Clint Barmas at the plate. High school football returns to Root Sports this fall, including the 4A and 5A state championship games. And our first game will be Thursday, September 29th. The reigning state champs, the Mullen Mustangs, and Dave Logan will square off against the Bear Creek Bears. That'll be a good matchup. High school football this fall right here on Root Sports. And again, the 4A and 5A state title games from Sports Authority Field across the way, a mile high.
That's really neat. They put it into that big pro park for people to come. I know in Oklahoma they either go to OU or Oklahoma State or Tulsa. So that makes it neat for the fans. And for the last 13, 14 years, it's been Jinx and Union. So you've had about 55,000 there at the ball game, televised on Fox Southwest.
Two of the not only regional powers, two of the national powers in high school football. Jinx, Tulsa Union. Barmas chases, and the out recorded at first base. Nice job by Matt Reynolds as we go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-1 Rockies. over extraordinary play. Carlos Gonzalez dropped the barrel on a pitch down and in. And he hit it a long way, which he frequently does. Solo home run to the second, his 22nd of the year. Third RBI of the ball game. 79 ribbies. That's our Land Rover extraordinary play of the day. 7-1 Rockies, despite the fact that Houston has out-hit Colorado 12-9. Rockies will have Helt, Wigginton, and Mark Ellis here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Carney Lansford had to be pleased with that early production by the Rockies in the ball game. 6 runs in the first. Helt tonight an RBI single in that initial inning, a walk in the second, and he was caught looking at the 5th inning. Third inning of work for Nuri Rodriguez. He's been pretty good, as in perfect. 6 up, 6 down. He struck out 4 in a row.
Kind of special to watch, huh?
Yeah, J.C. Romero. And you know there's a little extra adrenaline in the body for Nuri Rodriguez facing the organization that he came up with.
Should be.
2-0 on Helton, hitting .390 over his last 10 ball games. And it's 3-0. Tomorrow, the Rockies debut of Alex White. So Helton walks for the 2nd time in the ball game. Let's see again what Alana Rizzo is doing. Alana, what's happening?
Well, I just wanted to give you guys an update on the Rockies bullpen. It could have a bit of a different look by week's end. Matt Lindstrom was eligible to come off the disabled list yesterday. He threw an inning tonight in Colorado Springs. 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. He will throw another inning on Wednesday. Houston Street in the ball game right now for the Sky Sox will throw an inning tonight, another inning on Wednesday. He is eligible to come off the disabled list on Wednesday. If everything goes okay after they're reevaluated, they could join the club in LA, guys.
All right, Alana, and we'll update you that Houston has now thrown 2/3 of an inning, struck out a batter. Wigginton 2 for 3 in the ball game. Double and a single. And tomorrow, Alex White, who made 3 starts for Cleveland and then hurt his finger, similar injury to what befell Jorge De La Rosa a year ago. He's rehabbing down in Tulsa, and his last 3 outings were spotless, including 7 2/3 shutout innings for the Drillers a few days ago. He's got a smile on his face. Tomorrow he'll be all business. Wigginton on the 0-2, pops it up foul ground. Quintero makes the catch, 1 out.
Well, don't forget to text @BAT11 app featuring highlights and a whole lot more. Text @BAT 31826MLB.TV.
Mark Ellis, look out.
Curveball at 78. It forgot to curve.
Got to give it directions, George.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what's that thing we listen to? What's her name when we drive around? It gives us Sheila or whatever that says turn right, make U-turns and everything. Didn't have the GPS on the ball. I just want to know something. Well, how come whenever your driver says make a lot? Every time Goodman drives, it says please make a U-turn when possible. I mean, honestly, you do get lost occasionally. Honestly,
come on.
Honestly, say it. You better tell the truth, because I'll call the kids.
You know what? It's all part of the adventure. 2-1.
Oh boy.
Helton led off against Anuri Rodriguez with a walk. Wigginton fouled out. Mark Ellis with a 2-1 count. Nuri still just 23 years of age. And now Ellis walks.
Yeah, Brad Mills going, you know what? I'm going to the bullpen right now. Ned is coming up. He's giving me good innings here. Let's leave it on a good note. What he's accomplished, 3 1/3 innings. Now a couple of walks. I'll get him out of the ball game.
Well, Brad Mills takes the baseball from Anuri Rodriguez. We'll take a break. Rockies ahead 7-1, bottom of 8. He scores 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco special. Text keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Crowd of 27,166 at the ball yard tonight. David Carpenter, who earlier in the year was a PCL All-Star, he was a closer.
Former catcher turned closer, and now all of a sudden going to get some opportunities up here to do that same exact role when they need time off. So now all of a sudden here he is in the 8th inning with it. A little trouble on the base pass, first and second, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
Now keep in mind, Houston played 11 innings yesterday. Their bullpen got taxed. Carpenter did not work. In fact, didn't work at all over the weekend. And therefore, Brad Mills calling on him right now with 2 on and 1 out. Chris Ionette at the plate. Chris Nelson in the on-deck circle for Matt Reynolds. J.C. Romero continuing to toss. Carpenter typically 92 to 95 and a slider. Pretty typical of closers these days.
Yep.
2 pitches.
Yep, that's all you need when you come out of the bullpen trying to get 3 outs. Try to do it as quickly as you can. If you don't have the power fastball, you want to have a sinking fastball.
2-0. And that's a fastball that's driven right back up the middle. Helton will stop at third, and the bases are loaded for Chris Nelson.
Trying to work a ball. See how that fastball wanted it away on the outer half of the plate. Ionetta recognized the run coming to him and stepped his foot down in a hurry. It kept the ball in the center of the bat, and a good result. The base hit to center field.
.150 at bats for Chris this year. He's hitting .227. He's got 8 doubles, a triple, and a couple of home runs. He's driven in 10. Rockies, when they drafted him, really believed that he would be a very productive bat. And I don't think you fully know with most hitters who have ability, and Chris Nelson has a lot of ability, you typically don't know until about 1,000 at bats in what you truly have. Some guys say a few less than that, some think it's 1,200. And Nelson drives it left center field. That'll bring home 2. Ionetta to third. Nelson will move up to second. It is 9-1 Colorado. Well, he had the right idea there, George. Look for that first pitch fastball and jump on it.
Well, a lot of guys will do that coming off of the bench. When a guy comes out of the bullpen, the Rockies now 6 for 10 with runners in scoring position in this ball game. After this base hit by Nelson. Ball inner half. That shows you bat speed and strength by Nelson to be able to jerk that pitch in on the hands and keeping his hands close to the body. Helton will jog home. Ellis will follow. Ionetta will get to third. Just 1 out in the inning and 2 across. Both those runs charged to Rodriguez.
Inside on Eric Young. EYO for 3 and a walk. So the book's closed on Nuri Rodriguez. 2 2/3, 2 1/3, I should say. 2 runs, no hits allowed. 2 walks, struck out 4. EY bounces one to short. And Barmes throws out Eric Young. 2 gone.
This is another one of those learning curves for Brad Mills. Doug Brokaw, his pitching coach, after Brad Arnsberg was fired halfway through the year, that you learn about these guys and you learn how they handle traffic when coming into games and pitches made to get out of those innings. Or are they guys that allow everybody else's runs in and shut the door when it's their runs? Base runners allowed, big thing for managers coming out of the bullpen late in ball games.
For Brokaw, who's got Colorado ties. Big, tough reliever. He pitched for a long time.
It's only been, what, 1 year, 2 year removed from the game.
Started, player. Yeah, he started the year as a special assistant to Ed Wade, the general manager. 0-1 on Fowler.
Arnsberg's been a pitching coach at a number of places. Montreal, and then down in Florida for Jeff Torborg, and then most recently here with Houston.
Your former skipper, George, in the minor leagues.
You know, Matt Galante has been a special assistant with Houston now since 1986. That's how long he's been around with their organization.
Brokaw pitched 15 plus years in the big leagues, and pitched till he was 42. Three and 1.
Brokaw was one of those guys that when you watched him in a game, I mean, it was mean. This guy came out of the bullpen and It was a prize fight, and I think that's the attitude he's trying to bring to this pitching staff. A Brett Myers type attitude to all these young pitchers, and to try to show and lead them through the way of becoming a tough guy coming out of the bullpen and in the rotation.
Ball 4, and they're loaded up for Carlos Gonzalez. And Brocail will walk out. Well, son,
here's the deal. You know, this is never a good situation, but it is 9-1. So will you challenge him for me? Don't walk a guy. I mean, Dexter Fowler's leading the team with runs in scoring position, 370 average. But do me a favor. This guy at home plate really hits it a long ways, but you got to challenge the guy. You know, look what Rodriguez did a minute ago. He challenged him. Go right at some guys. And Dexter, after that miserable start, having a lot of success here after being recalled from AAA.
And it's really one of the best stories individually for the Rockies in the second half. So Cargo 2 for 4, 2-run double in the first, home run in the second, bases loaded. And this ball is driven down the left field line, long run, and it drops foul. JD Martinez couldn't get there. Like most matchups when Carlos Gonzalez is locked in that favor number 5. It's a hard throwing kid. Cargo,
well, the tough part,
hit the fastball.
Tough part for him is he's never seen him. You know, that's the hardest part. What does his fastball do? Does it rise? Does it tail? Does it sink? What does it do? You know, once he recognizes that, everybody in the infield better duck. And the guys in the outfield, put your glove up if you're over the seats. You got a chance to catch the baseball.
Work back to see it and hit it. 2-1. And before you go to the plate in this situation, that's where a hitting coach is invaluable. Carney Lansford will tell him, because he has a scouting report right there. He'll tell him fastball, slider, and he throws the fastball, 75% of the time.
Yeah, and then it's up to the hitter to try to experience it and capitalize on what he's told. But until you get in that box and actually see it, they can tell you he hides it. The part they forget to tell you, it's a short, quick jab high. It gets on you in a hurry. His 92 seems like 97. That's the part you got to experience yourself. And Carpenter's showing a catcher's type motion, a very short 3-piece arm action.
Two and two.
That's what he struck out on Rodriguez, that running fastball up and away.
And honestly, the 2-1 pitch was the similar pitch out of the zone that he chased.
Swung at it. This time he attempted to.
3-2 at the bases full of Rockies. 2 outs, 9-1 Colorado, bottom of the 8th inning. Got one in the wheelhouse there.
That's one that as a pitcher you go uh-oh, and then you go thank you when he fouls it back. So Tracy, one of the few games this year, I know he's waiting on the 3rd out in the 9th, but he's waiting to see this 9-1 victory, and maybe even more. It's kind of a comfortable lead where you can relax in the 9th.
And he struck him out. He went slider. Rockies get 2 in the inning. They're up 9-1 as we go to the 9th. to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By the new thriller, The Debt, in theaters everywhere, August 31st. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new jumbo breakfast platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. Lower downtown Denver, the Rockies and Astros meeting for the first time this year, and it's all Colorado 9-1 as we go to the ninth inning. And of course, the Toyota post-game show will follow. Tom Helmer has some of the details, a tease, if you will.
Well, Drew, we're going to have a show with 6 apiece. The Rockies scored 6 runs in that first inning, really launched them on the way towards victory tonight. I've seen better days. Brett Myers 7-0 against the Rockies lifetime coming into this ball game. He will not go 8-0, and of course after the ball game we'll get you down into the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show. Drew?
Hey, this was a good start to the week for you.
I thought I got out of the gate well. I probably should have had a better pose, like, Drew, we're going to talk 6 appeal. Is that,
well, I tell you, I really thought you were talking about Tracy when you brought that up.
Well, of course I am. He's got great 6 appeal.
Yeah. Actually, I preferred the intonation in your initial delivery as opposed to your second delivery.
Okay. Well, you know, teach his own.
Yeah. Very, very well done, though. Way to get out of the start the week well.
Oh, yeah, the Cowboy wants his seat back now, like he's preparing for the show.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
All right. Have a good one, Tom. J.C. Romero is going to pitch the ninth inning for the Rockies with this comfortable lead. So the changes, as you saw a moment ago, Nelson's in at third. Johnny Herrera's at shortstop. Ty Wigginton slides over to first. Tulowitzki and Helton off the field. Catcher Humberto Quintero at the plate. He takes strike 1. Arizona lost again, Frage. Washington beat them 4-1. Wow. So if the Rockies can protect this 8-run lead, they'll wake up tomorrow 8.5 back. It's still a long way away, but it's the closest they've been since July the 16th.
Well, and the best part about all of this is you're going out to play these ball clubs on this road trip. So it's right there before you to really make a statement on this next road trip as you head out to Los Angeles, San Diego, Arizona, and then back home again.
2-2.
I think San Francisco just trying to nurse everybody back until they can get somebody healthy, and then try to make a little late season run with it.
A base hit through the right side. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies.
How about this road trip the Giants just went on? Here's who they put on the DL: Wilson, Beltran, Torres, and Whiteside and Romo. How are they doing so far?
That was the risky thing about trading for Beltran, who's having a great year. But he just has not stayed healthy.
Well, I mean, it's actually a pretty good risk for them to do. If he stays halfway healthy and swings the bat, it's great. They didn't have to give up a whole lot for him because he's free agent at the end of the year. Then they needed offense.
Yeah, you definitely understand it. I mean, this is when he's right, he's still a tremendous player. Jason Michaels at the plate. Pinch hitting. Jason Michaels, former University of Miami star. Played with Aubrey Huff, Pat Burrell there. And the biggest of those 3 guys, Huff, Burrell, and Michaels. Michaels may have been the biggest star of them all in college.
Yep, sure was.
We're asking Burrell about that team. Said, yeah, we'd score a lot of runs. He said, but we gave up a lot of runs too. It was short in the pitching department. 3-1 on Michaels. Ground ball to third, and Nelson's not going to have a play anywhere. Did the right thing. Tried to get that short hop off the backhand side. Wasn't able to field it. So 2 are on and nobody out.
Playing, you're not going to hug the line, but you are going to try to get out in front of the baseball. Maybe a couple steps late here. Short hopped into the glove, caught the heel, and kicked right out of it.
And Matt Downs will pinch hit for Jordan Schaefer. So a hit and an error. And there are 2 aboard. Now this is a good name if you got power. Right, the old line about going downtown. 0-1 on Matt Downs. They got downtown. 3-run home run for Matt Downs. And it's 9-4.
Renicky getting up pretty quick here. Here's the fastball on a pitch down and in, and down sends it over the head of EY and into the seats. Not what you were looking for to close out the ninth, that's for sure.
Altuve with a 1-strike count. Altuve a double in 4 trips. He's grounded out twice to third, once to short. Two and two. Josh Renicky just in case.
And of course you turn and look at the error by Nelson at third. Okay, catch it, do you turn the double play? You know, that's the point you got to ask yourself there. If you turn the double play, you give up one, whatever, make all the excuses you want, you still got to go make pitches. As a pitcher, you got to cover up sometimes for what happens, because trust me, they're going to make a lot of great plays for you to get out of some innings.
1 out, JD Martinez. 2 singles. Every hitter in their lineup has a base hit tonight. Every spot in the lineup. And that includes now the top of the order, because Jordan Schaefer was the only starter who didn't have a hit. He was 0 for 4, but he just got pinch hit for, and Matt Downs hit the home run. 14 hits tonight for Houston. 2-1. You know, the Astros came into the ball game with the 5th best batting average, tied for the 5th best batting average in the league with Cincinnati at 258, a point in front of the Rockies. They'd scored 96 fewer runs, though. This is right center field, and it's a gapper. In fact, it's a ground rule double. Martinez with his 3rd hit of the night.
Well, you can't go to the bullpen till the guy, the phone call comes down and says he's ready to go.
Well, he must be ready, because here comes Jim Tracy.
Well, obviously not the way Romero wanted this inning to go. Come out to get an inning and a work, give everybody a little bit of rest, and unfortunately, 3 hits later, and 3 runs on a 3-run home run. You got a 9-4 ball game and a runner on second and only 1 out.
So Josh Renicky will come on. 9-4 Rockies. Jolie Chassin, he gave up some hits tonight, but he went 7 innings. He got some double plays behind him. Got the big outs. And he left with a 7-1 lead. The Rockies leading now 9-4. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Sent to you tonight by Jolie Chassin. So Josh Renicky, who's been perfect so far in his work with the Rockies, on for the 8th time. Carlos Lee, 2 for 4.
The opposition 3 for 24 overall. Both right and left-handers hitting $125. He's shown up in his last 7 outings, 4 2/3 of scoreless. He has to come on and close this thing out, so that's a pretty good deal. I mean, 7 for 7. First men faced, he's retired 100% of it. He's inherited 5 would-be base runners, and guess what? None of them have scored.
Off the plate, 1-1. Just missed. 2-1.
Yeah, slider away at 86 miles an hour. You got a 5-run lead. Challenge and get right after Lee. You want a ball 92 to 95 miles an hour. Fall behind and get in the hitter's count.
Justin Verlander won tonight for
Imagine
Detroit.
That. He's done that 18 times prior to tonight.
Yeah, got 19 now. It's big league with
good.
19 wins. Arizona again has lost 6 in a row after losing 4-1 tonight. It is 3-2, and Chris Ionnet, I think, is going to remind Josh Renicky exactly what you're talking about. Look at the scoreboard, 5-run lead.
Yeah, let's go get it. Get up. If a guy hits it out of the park, he hits it out of the park. But let's just challenge him. We don't want to walk and create a bad situation for you.
Fouled off. Challenged him with the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. And he walked him. Rockies forced to get Betancourt up now. You think managing's easy? You think there's any stress involved?
Yeah, I mean,
look at that shot at Jim Tracy.
This should, you know, it just kills you to do this. You don't want to do this. You're sitting there staring at a lead like you were 9-1. You go finish the game. And it's disappointing for him because he handed the ball to a veteran guy, too, and J.C. Romero. So, I mean, it wasn't like he gave the ball to a young kid to go out there and face his team.
That's a dangerous guy at the plate. Bogusevic, a home run, a double, and a single, 3 for 4. If he reaches, you're going to see the Rockies closer.
If he's ready, you sure will. I'll tell you that right now.
Pulled down the line, just foul. Martinez doubled. He's at second. Carlos Lee walked. He is at first. 3-run home run earlier in the inning by the pinch hitter Matt Downs. There's 1 out. Here's Altuve grounding out to short. Here's the 1-2. You don't want to see a triple. 15 hits tonight. And you have 4 runs if you're Houston. You saw odd numbers yesterday, George. Rockies win 5-3 on 3 hits yesterday.
Yep.
Here Houston is with 2 days worth of hits, if you will, and just 4 runs and a 5-run deficit. Those last 2 outs have become elusive, though. Two. Bogusevic fouls that off. a souvenir.
Well, you've seen 8 offerings now from Renicky. Here comes number 9. That's never good for a pitcher when you get that deep and see that many pitches.
Count is full on Bogusevic. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And Jim Tracy, I'm sure, is going to have to go and bring in Rafael Betancourt. It's now a save situation, which is unbelievable. Clint Barmas, wouldn't you know it, is the tying run potentially and is in the on-deck circle. It was 9-1 about 10 minutes ago. Rocky just needed 3 outs to shake hands. In a year where nothing has been easy. Another 9th inning pitching change for the Rockies. Rockies happenings throughout the season. Text the word alerts to 720-720 to get Rockies updates straight to your phone. So Rafael Betancourt just pitched splendidly the last 6 weeks. Will be on looking for his 3rd save. With Houston Street on the disabled list, he has become the Rockies' closer. And the 2 saves and 5 opportunities is a little misleading, because if you give up a run, say in the 7th or 8th innings, a setup man that ties the game, you get a blown save. Though you really weren't not eligible for a save, you're just eligible for a hold. I really don't like that statistic. I think
Horrible.
I think it's completely misleading.
Yeah, horrible, because give them a blown hold, not a blown save.
Right.
It's pretty simple, because
Right.
they're not going to be there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get a save, how can you get a blown save?
Yeah, statistically, that needs to be changed.
So the bases are loaded. JD Martinez, who doubles at 3rd. Carlos Lee, he walked. He's at 2nd, and at first base, Brian Bogusevic, who just walked. Jimmy Paredes, switch hitter, will face Rafael Betancourt. The inning started with a single by Quintero, an error on the 3rd baseman Nelson, and then a pinch 3-run homer by Matt Downs. Speaking of the downs. That's where Paredes was looking to go with that swing.
Yeah, 1 home run so far and 71 at bats, 7 RBIs so far for the youngster.
Iannetta sets up on the outside corner, and this is in the air. Eric Young in left. He'll make the catch. Tagging at third. Scoring is Martinez. It's 9-5. 2 outs. And Clint Barmes will come to bat. Barmes an infield hit. Pop out. Come back for a strikeout. He's 1 for 4. His return to Coors Field. Emotional day for Barmes, who in this stadium hit .285. 10th round pick of the Rockies back in 2000. Barmes fired at that fastball. He's out over the plate. It's 0-1.
Clint Barmes, who played behind Betancourt for an awful lot of last year's ball games, recognizing first pitch fastball offering, and things are going to get nasty after that when Betancourt is right.
And he is really right of late. 0-1 on Barmes. That's the pitch, George, and I was talking to Rafi about this earlier today. To get the opposition off just sitting on his fastball, we've seen more sliders and even the occasional changeup.
Well, he's done a good job with it. It's all about command of the pitches. He has command of those 3 very, very well, but adding the slider with some depth to it, not so much a cutter, but a true slider, has really benefited.
0-2 on Barmes. Iannetta grew up with Clint Barmes in the Rockies system. He knows him well. He'll go away. See if it's the slider again. It's the fastball. Fouls it back. Place you don't want to go with Barmes is he is really quick on the inner half. And one year he hit 23 home runs in a Rockies uniform, and virtually all of them were to left field.
You see all those pitches, with the exception of the last. It was middle, center cut, and up. Everything else had been away from him. Iannetta wanted that pitch away.
Nine, 5. 2 on and 2 outs. Here's the 1-2.
You see a steady diet of middle to out. You know what Drew's talking about. The last area you want to go into on Barmes is anywhere right in that inner half of the plate, particularly up.
Another 1-2. held up. It's been said, George, that the ball traveling from 60 feet 6 inches for a hitter, they're making a determination in the first 20 feet whether they're going to fire. You can't wait much longer than that.
No, you really can't. I mean, that's the thing. You got to see it, react to it, and then, a lot of times you're not reacting when it's the velo's turned up a little bit. There's that slider that you know, he just has a tendency to get out in front on and hook it down the line. He did there, cheating again. Cheating on that thing, starting his bat very early in the pitch sequence.
Two and two on Clint Barmas. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. He's got it. Scary ninth inning for the Rockies, but they survived. They've now won 3 in a row. 9-5 the final. Carlos Gonzalez drives in 3 tonight. The Rockies win at 9-5 behind Jhoulys Chacín's 10th victory of the year. And they beat Brett Myers for the first time ever. He falls to 3-13, 7-1 now against the Rockies, and Betancourt has his 3rd save for Colorado. 9-5 Colorado, and he invites you to stick around. The postgame show coming up now.